Welcome to the 192nd episode of Pixelmon. My name is Hurricane090 and let's get started. This is going to be a server called Envyblock.org. So if you'd like to join us, that's going to be the IP for the server. Just keep in mind that we do have the rules. Just mainly do not steal, do not grieve, do not raid, do not x-ray, as well as respect all the players, the staff, and everybody else around, because that this is a survival world with a great community, and as well as that it's Minecraft. What more could you ask for? We got a lot of Pokemon in here, and we're still building the server little by little. We're still adding new things, and we're testing out new things here and there, so it's still a work in progress. It's not going to be perfect, but we're still trying our best to do whatever we can to make the server better. So in any case, this is gonna be a little bit of a rant slash type of real talk slash type of whatever's going on with my head right now, because recently, we actually enforced something. First of all, that I brought up the idea weeks ago. I brought up the idea that staff members should be required to vote, because applying for a staff member, you say that you want to dedicate your time to actually help out the server, and as well as you want to help out the server in the community. But the thing is that the people who apply, they do not actually vote. So it's gonna go side by side, that if you want to help out the server that you applied for and you say we're gonna help out the server, the best thing you could do for the server, not only to actually help the community and help out the new players, but it is to vote for the server, because we wanted to see the community grow. We wanted to see it strive. We wanted to see it become popular. And the only way to really advertise the server without even having to spend money for it is to actually vote for the server, because on the voting links and the voting sites, they have servers that are listed and they are ranked based on the amount of votes that they get. So the more votes that the server has, the higher ranked the server becomes and higher placed up onto the list it could actually be. So it could be on the top 10 rather than be like number 97 or number 76 that people would have to scroll like 5 pages in order enough for you to actually get to it. So let me go ahead and drain out the lava here, because it's going to be in the way. Yes, I'm only going to do that for the lava, because the lava is just a big mess on its own. They know I actually do it. It's no secret. They actually know that I do this. So I'm going to get rid of a lot of lava, get rid of a bit of lag, and we'll be good to go. And more lava. But in any case, that, well, it is what it is. The only way that people found out about our servers is either through word of mouth. Some people found the server because of my video, which is actually pretty cool on its own. And then there are people who actually found the server through actually searching for it, or that it actually comes up on the Pixelmon list or the server list because of the amount of votes that it gets. The higher popularity of it is, the higher place it gets, and it's going to be one of the first servers that people are going to see. Like, again, if it's on the top 10, it's going to be the first 10 servers that a person would see, and they like it, they'll actually go to the server. And if they want to stay, they can stay. So we try a lot of incentives to keep people from voting. One of the recent things we've actually added was vote crates. And you see me open vote crates from time to time, is that you get a vote crate if you were to vote towards a countdown of the vote crate actually hitting 0. So there's 23 more votes. So if 5 people were to vote, then they'll be able to get it, because 5 times 5 equals 25, and then of course it's going to hit 0. So, oh wait, wrong one. Haha, okay. So vote crates was a recent thing that we've added so that it could give people prizes, and it'll give people something to look forward to if they don't get anything from voting. Like, we tried to get people to vote so they can get these prizes, like a rank upgrade or a legendary, which happens a lot. And then we get the vote crates for people to get even more free stuff. So that is it. But now that we've actually seen staff members that they have no incentive to actually vote, like people who become legends or people who become mythics, since there's no reason to actually vote to try to get a rank upgrade, they actually stop voting. And a lot of legends, a lot of the mythics, they are staff members, no less. So it really goes back to the point where if you want to be a staff member and you want to help out the server, then there should be no reason for you not to vote. Seriously, there is no reason for you not to vote, because voting, again, is the best way to help out the server in the form of advertisement through the listings of the servers on the sites themselves. Like I said, higher popularity of the votes, then more people will actually take a notice to it and people will join the server. So it also even shows how much dedication you actually put into the server in its own. Not just by helping the players when they have a question or actually enforcing the rules. If people are actually starting to scam, they're trying to start a fight or cursing and things like that, that is very acceptable for them to actually place down the enforcements of the rules. But again, we really want to see the big picture. We want to have more players come onto the server. So the only way to do that really is to actually vote. And it only takes 5 minutes to vote. 5 minutes. A lot of staff members take 5 to 10 minute breaks every now and then. We see that happen a lot. So in that 5 minutes, you could just sit back and actually vote. You don't even need to be on the server to vote. All you gotta do is either go on the site to actually click on the bubbles 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Number 3 is broken, so don't try that. So just vote on those servers while you're offline, or you could actually save the links onto your smartphone and vote from your phone. So it only takes 5 minutes to actually vote. That's it. It honestly takes 5 minutes to vote, and if you don't want to dedicate that 5 minutes to vote, then why is it that you wanted to become a staff member and promise to actually help out the server when you don't want to do that? Real talk here, real talk. I know it sounds bad, but like I said, in the big picture, we want to see the community grow so that more people could join the server and then they could stay. If they don't want to stay, that's fine. They could leave and then we'll get new people and just keeps on going. And then we have permanent members and then the server starts to grow little by little so that we could easily get 50 people online daily. A lot of people, or a lot of staff members, even wanted to see more people online daily, but yet, again, you say you want to help, but you don't do anything to help. So this is pretty much the only way for us to actually get more people to start voting, because staff members have to lead by example. Because if people are voting, but they see staff members are not voting, then to the people, it's like, okay, so why bother voting if the staff members don't even care about their server? Why are we doing the work for them? That's the mentality. Why are the non-staff players or the new players actually voting for the staff members to not do anything? That doesn't make sense whatsoever. So again, we have to lead by example, and this is the only way we can do it. Yes, it sounds mean to people who actually are dedicated and they spend so much hours, but yet they have to be required to vote. But again, it's only 5 minutes. That's all we ask. It's not like we're asking you to donate your money to the server. Just think of it that way. We're not asking you to donate your money. We're just only asking you to take 5 minutes out of your time playing the game to actually start voting. Because in the long run, you're still going to get some prizes out of it. And as well as that, you will help out the server a lot. That's it. That's pretty much the end of it. Black and white. Help out the server. You actually made the application promising us that you would help out the server. So by not voting for it, technically you're kind of lying. Simply as that. That's all it is. Again, it really sounds bad how I say it, but just do not take it so serious. Just take it as if it is a little bit of criticism. That's all it is. Because we want staff members to vote. We want staff members to make the community grow. And to vote, that's one way to do it. You don't need to donate your money. All you gotta do is just vote. Just keep on voting, and then there you go. And even the moderators, that they've actually said, a few of them, not going to name who, but one of them actually did admit it. But again, actually no, a lot of them admitted it, is that they were guilty of not actually voting because they had no incentive to vote. They're already a moderator, they already have a high rank, so what's the point of actually voting? So it's just going to keep going back. That's going to be the running theme. It's going to go back to the same answer, so you guys know it's going to help out the server. That's all it is. So a little bit of questions here and there. What will be the required number of votes of each staff member? So it's going to be based on the actual rank. If you are a helper, you are required to get at least a minimum of 50 votes. If you are a tourney manager, it will be 75 votes. And then if you are an event manager, or if you are a moderator or an admin, then it will actually be up to 100. Because with moderator, you have a lot of responsibility. So that's going to be a thing that's going to happen. And it's all going to happen on November 1st. So don't worry if you haven't actually reached the number of votes as of this time period. It's going to start November 1st. So you have a full month to actually get all your ranks, or all your required number of votes. For a helper slash builder slash gym leader, you have 10 days out of the 30 to get all those 50 votes. For a tourney manager, it will be a good old 15 days. Event manager, then you have moderator and admin, you have 20 days to actually get up to that 100 vote mark. So even if you missed a few days, then it's just not going to be that big of a deal, because you still got a good threshold of time for you to actually reach that number of votes. But just because you reached number 50, that does not mean you should stop voting. We still want you to continue to vote. We will check up on that. We will see the people who only just go for the bare minimum. We will see that there's going to be people who just don't care. Once they actually reach 50, they're just going to stop. We will actually take note of that, and we will tell them about it, because if they wanted to actually stay as a staff member, if they're really dedicated, then they'll actually go for the extra mile. So that's going to be one of the other things that we're going to look for. And of course, that there is going to be a little bit of a warning system, that if they did not reach it at the first month, like from November to December, they did not reach their total number of votes, they will receive a warning. And the next time it doesn't happen, they will be demoted. And what will happen now is that they could actually apply for it, because they've already been in the rank before. They could just simply reapply, and then they're going to have to see or if whether or not if they will be back onto the staff team. And during that pending period, they should start voting, because if they really care to stay as a helper, then they will actually prove their dedication by voting for the server. Because if they don't bother to vote whatsoever, then they're going to stay demoted. So first time, for that first month, if people don't even show a sign of actually caring and not even voting, it's an automatic demotion, no warning needed. So if they become demoted because they didn't actually vote enough times, then during that pending period when they actually make their application again, they will actually have to continue on voting. So it's like, if you really want to stay as a staff member, if you really want that rank, then you're going to have to work for it. Honestly, that's kind of how it should work. Like, you have to earn it, and you have to prove it. Like, you have to prove that you want to stay on that. It's like hiring an employee, but yet they don't want to do the work. So you're literally paying them for nothing, even though that's not really much of a good comparison, because there's no salary to be made onto the server since it's all volunteer. But it's still a good analogy to use. But if real life, if you are an employer, if I can even talk right, I should not be an employer. If you are an employer and you hire people to work, but yet they don't work, then you wouldn't want to actually give them any money for that work, because you don't want to pay them for not doing anything. So what you're going to do, you either give them a warning or you're going to fire them. That's it. Bottom line is that if you want to spend more money or give salary to a person who doesn't want to work, then in the long run, you're just giving out money, especially if you own your own business. I do not. One day I may own my own business, but same thing applies. You don't want to spend money or give money to a person who doesn't want to work. And trust me, we've seen people who don't want to work, and we've said something about that too in real life, but that's just another story for another day. So as a recap, we are going to enforce the voting. All staff members will be required to actually vote. So again, helpers, builders, and gym leaders, they have to get 50 votes within a month. Tourney managers have to get 75, and then event managers, event managers, the moderators, and the admins will be required to get 100 votes. You have 10 to 20 days to actually get that out of the whole 30 days within a month. And then some months have 31, so you got one extra day. So don't actually hold off to the last minute. Do not be lazy in the voting. Do not put it off to the side, and do not go for the bare minimum. We want you to go for the extra mile for the sake of the server that we want it to actually grow. Because at times we've only seen it stay at 10 to 20 players at a given time. And every single time when we try to rally up more players, everybody's all in for it, but nobody wants to put the work behind it. So this is one way to be kicking ourselves up, and for us to actually do something to be our worth in the staff rankings that we applied for at the beginning. We applied, we told everyone that we're going to help out, we're going to make the server great, so this is one way to prove it. So, yep, it sounds harsh how I say it, but somebody has to say it. I already made a forum post about it, and now I am saying it verbally. So that's going to be a system. And yes, it will be a requirement from now on for people who want to become a staff member, whether it be a helper, whether it be a builder, whether it be a gym leader, whether it be tourney manager, or staff promotion. That if you want to go from a helper to a tourney manager, you're going to have to actually vote even more. So you got to prove your dedication, because one thing we noticed obviously is that whenever people actually apply to be a helper, they don't even help out. They want to be a helper, but they don't help. Such hypocrisy at that point. And then Yeah, some people just apply, they don't even log on after like 2 weeks. It's like, why are you applying if you don't even bother logging in? So it's going to be another thing that we're going to actually look for. If you want to be a helper, then do your best to reach the number of 50 votes, because you have 2 to 3 weeks to get that. We always tell people that wait 2 to 3 weeks. Be active for those 2 to 3 weeks before you apply to be a staff or to be a helper, so that you know that you're going to be applying for the server, you know that you're going to be dedicated, and you know you're going to stay for the server. There's a reason why we put it there. We don't actually accept people at the first 3 days, because what if they're gone now? Like, once they actually get accepted, what if they just don't even log on for those 2 weeks? They become inactive, they become automatic demoted, and it's just a big old hassle to put their names in the system and all that stuff, and to put all that. Yeah, just imagine you being the owner and having to do that like every single day, because people apply, you accept them, but yet they don't log on, you have to demote them. Just keep on doing that cycle. We look for the activity of the person, how active they are, and what they do and what they say in the chat. So there's a lot of things. And now that voting will be a required thing too as well, that's going to be a thing. Of course, it's not going to be in the application, but it's going to be what we're going to look for. If they are very, very dedicated to the server, if they actually want to dedicate their time and want to help out, and if they don't vote, then that's going to be another thing that's going to knock them down. Because, like I said, a lot of people apply, but yet they don't do anything to prove it. So again, it's going to start November 1st. So if you are a staff member, then get into the habit of voting. Only takes 5 minutes out of your time. No big deal. You go AFK longer than that at a given day. Let's be honest, people. I do it, you do it, we all do it. So 5 minutes isn't that big of a deal to spend to actually go ahead and vote 5 times. And also, we're going to do a little bit of changes to the votes as well, so we're going to give even a bigger incentive to actually vote. So keep in mind of that. That's all I can say for now, because I don't want to give too many details away. So vote. Vote, vote, vote. Prove that you want to help out. Prove your dedication. And let's see if we're going to get more players from then on forth after November. So this is going to be the end of the video. And if you like the real talk, if you like how I said it, let me know in the comment section below. If you want to give the video a like, that's your choice, because again, I know that I sound mean. I know that I probably am harsh, but it has to be said. Because how are we ever going to improve if we don't get criticism? That's another life story. That's another thing in life. If you don't get criticism, you're never going to improve. If you don't improve, then you're just going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting nowhere. So, yeah. I know I've criticized myself. I know I've been making some changes. But for the better or for worse, that is up to the future to decide. So we're just going to have to see how that goes. But until then, have a great day, everyone. I'm SorkinZero90, and as always, I will see you in the next video.